Hey, this is Joe from Home Studio Corner. We're talking about how to get it right at the source, specifically how to choose the right key for the song. Now, don't skip over this. This might seem insanely obvious. Well, of course we want to choose the right key for the song, but it's actually really easy to jack this up. So the scenario goes like this. You're excited to record, and you just start. You record drums, bass, guitars, lead guitar, a bunch of guitars, bunch of keyboards, bunch of background vocals. And one of the last things we tend to do in the recording process is record the singer. Well, we get the singer to come in and she starts to sing along and she says, "This is too high for me." That's a terrible, terrible, terrible feeling because you've done all this work. Arguably, you've done really good work, but the song is in the wrong key. So you have a couple of options. You can either have her sing it and it not sound good because it's not in the right key for her voice, or you can redo things. Redoing things sucks, but that's part of getting it right at the source. A big part of getting it right at the source for me is re-recording things that don't work. Is it a waste of time? I would argue no, because it's worth it and it's necessary and it has to be done. Sometimes I record things all day and I come back the next day and replace everything I recorded because it just wasn't right. That's just a part of the process. Now, if you recorded all MIDI tracks, so if you got MIDI drums, MIDI bass, MIDI keyboard and synth parts, then this actually, you've dodged a bullet because you can just grab those MIDI notes and pull them down a whole step or two. But if you record actual audio, like an actual bass guitar, actual guitars, actual pianos, then you're in trouble because the only real thing you can salvage is the drum tracks. Everything else is going to need to be re-recorded. And it's worth doing, and I would recommend doing it because that's part of getting it right at the source. Now, there's a couple of things you may think, well, can I just go in and select the tracks and use some sort of pitch shift algorithm to turn them down? I would say do that at your own risk. Sometimes I've had one session where we did that because we were in a time crunch and it worked okay. But I would argue it will degrade the audio. Whether that degradation is audible and something that comes through in the recording is really there's just a big variable. It might be fine, but big picture, it's always better to get it right at the source. So how do we do this? How do you make sure you get it right at the beginning? It's simple, but a lot of people skip over this. Have the singer sing the chorus to the song that you're about to record. So if you've decided to record the song in E, grab a guitar, play the chorus, and have the singer literally there singing with you. If you're the singer, great. If not, make sure the singer comes to your studio to do this and make sure that it works for him or her. It's a really simple process, but just because you wrote a song in one key doesn't mean that's the best key for your voice, and it might sound better lower or higher. And so let's make sure we decide that and we're all in agreement, especially the singer, that this is the right key for the song before we move on. There's a bit here, if you are the singer, like I'm the singer most of the time in the stuff that I work on, where you need to have a little bit of self-awareness, where you think, oh, I can hit those notes. Just because you can hit a note doesn't mean it sounds good. So I've had times where I can hit the note, but I'll actually play it for my wife and say, "Does this sound good?" And she'll say, "Meh, no." Yeah, you hit the note, but it sounds strained. And she's not a musician, so that's coming from kind of an average listener saying, "Man, that's unpleasant to listen to." It hurts to hear that, but it's worth it. I'll take it down a step so it's sounding more pleasant to the listener. These are big, big things that we don't talk about a lot. It's easier to talk about mic placement and plug-in settings, but none of that matters if you didn't get the key right. Thanks so much for watching this. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if you want to find out more about mixing vocals, I've done a great video that's super popular called The Keys to a Great Vocal Mix. I'll link that somewhere here on the page. Check that out. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.